to the COVID-19 Superhero Technology Summit and Awards brought to you by SME Channels, India's first magazine for IT solutions business. I'm Manisha Nair Thavan, welcoming you to this webinar. Now I'm going to hand over to Sanjay Mahapatra, who is going to be talking to Ms. Lata Singh, the Director of One Channel IBM India South Asia, over the next wave of business opportunity for partners.
Thank you, Anisha. Hi, Lata. Good afternoon, and once again, welcome. After the dry run today, I think we all are okay, and it's very difficult to find you. I know that this time is not that great that you have liberty to speak to people in general. I know that all the leaders are working for instead of 8 hours, people are working for 17 to 18 hours. So kudos to you. Hats up to you. I'll ask you some top questions.
Thank you, Sanjay, and thank you for having me here. I did want to thank everyone, all the participants, the IT service industry, because we've really done a phenomenal job in the pandemic. None of us expected it. We not only managed our own work, which is our own organization and our teams, but also took care of the clients. So a big round of applause to all the people on the call, as well as the extended IT services community.
Lata, my first question, since I'm representing the entire channel fraternity, I'll be asking you from the channel, perspective, their landscape, their transformation. How are you seeing in the region, particularly in this country?
Thanks, Sanjay. And this is a topic that I really love. Is the way that things are happening is I would call it a very blurred view of what you really call partnerships now, right? The lines are blurring. There's no longer a single streamlined line of saying, I am an OEM, this one is a partner, and this one is a customer. Because of the way that the organizations have evolved and changed over a period of time, you have customers with whom you collaborate now when you're doing the work, right? And therefore, in a way, they become partners with you. The best example that there are 2 or 3 examples that I can come up with, and they may sound a bit from a global market, but if you really look at IBM's Quantum and what we're working on with Quantum, we've opened the platform to not only developers, but also clients. So we are working with Axon to look at how we can make a change in their industry and what are the modeling that can be done. And that's where you're looking at a partnering with the client side. The financial services cloud that we launched was done with the client, which was Bank of America being the first client on it. And that was, again, partnership to say what really works in that industry, and therefore how can we scale it, and also the fact that there are a number of ISVs who are there. So what I would say is, one is the blurring of line of what is partnership. I would call it a more collaborative way of saying what is in it for, what do I have that's a specialty, what does someone else have that is a specialty, can we collaborate to deliver more to the clients? And that's where you're looking at, you may be a partner to someone receiving the benefit, or you may be someone who is taking someone's solution and giving it to someone else. So the lines are definitely blurring, and therefore this is the best time to really look at how do we work together. A number of panelists on your today's session are people that we compete with in the landscape when it is on-prem, but when it is on cloud, we are partners, because prior to this, Veeam was there, and Veeam is hosted on the IBM cloud as well. So the collaboration differs in terms of how does the partnership work, right? And therefore you have various models of partnerships that IT services companies are doing, and the level and the amount of services business out of it is the key thing to it. Is how do I get more services? How do I deliver more services? And therefore, who all can help me to bring a different perspective to the client and the client's needs? So that's where I see the blurring of the partnership from a straight line to a multifold, multifaceted partnerships.
We have been talking about cloud, cognitive AI, for a long time. Now this is right time that we should, or the partner fraternities should focus on these technologies and much more I mean, beyond these technologies as well. So what is your take on this?
Cloud and cognitive and data. Let's not forget data, because we have to start with data, right? Is the way that we are looking at every industry is changing, and we talked about it earlier. Some of the speakers spoke about it. Is the fact that the data is critical, right? First is people are looking at what data I have. How do you use that data becomes very critical. So there are organizations who are looking at what is the data I have, how can I narrow down the data into more specifics, and then out of that data, can I address a certain specific set of addressable engagements that are happening, right? That's the first part of the data. Now, when you have data and you can model it, what you need is to infuse the data with AI. So you're infusing AI into the data. And the third part is you're going to take it to scale, and that's what you do on cloud, right? Now, opportunities across the industries, whether it is even something like agriculture. I don't know whether you're aware, there's a 700 million farm sector that was there in 2019 globally. So whether it is the agriculture sector, whether it is the healthcare sector, or whether it is the FSS sector, that BFSI sector that we are familiar with, any oil and gas, all of them have data that needs to be addressed, that needs to be ingested, that needs to be looked at, and therefore insights need to be given to what is the next step that is going to go on. What organizations are looking at are IT services companies or partners who can build those insights through their own service capability, right? And that's where the cloud, the cognitive, and the data come in. Is how are we able to address opportunities that are there in the segment? How are we able to bring the AI engine into it to be making it more predictive? And then how are we able to scale? Because the clients want it on-prem and they want it also on the cloud, right? So how are we able to do that? And that is where the IT services companies are building capabilities around it. They're looking at what solutions we can take to the customer. And also, actually, it's a two-way discussions now that's happening with customers is what is your important immediate need? How do we address it? What modeling can we do and how can we deliver that? That's where the entire cloud, data, and AI story builds in, the scalability of it. So that's where IBM is working. And we know on the AI side, there is consumer AI and there is business AI. IBM is working on the business AI side of it, right? And we're looking at predictability, business processes, but we're also looking at an important piece which for our IT services companies there, and that is AI for IT ops. And that is something that all of us in the IT service industry would be really keen to identify, keen to look at how can we incorporate into our service delivery as we go to address our client needs. And that is a big focus from IBM side is on the AI for IT ops. I would look at those three things as critical. Depending on the type of organization you are, the IT service company, you will be at a different level of your journey of providing services to the customers. Therefore, you will need to look at how do you adopt data skills, how do you look at building data skills, and then obviously scaling them on the cloud. And all of us, in the recent one, whether we wanted to or not wanted to, had to go to the cloud, right? The pandemic forced us to go to the cloud, those who are not willing to go to the cloud. So given at any point of time, cloud remains the way to move forward. But let's not forget the importance of being on-prem and a hybrid cloud model that needs to be driven. Underlying all of this is security, and Professor Triveni mentioned security. While we're talking about applications, where we're talking about data and we're talking about AI, I think as much as we can talk about it, I think security is at the key of it, right? We're looking at cybersecurity, we're looking at cyber resiliency, and those are things that we really need to bring into the services that we're delivering to our clients.
Well, Lata, if you are rightly saying all these things, and the market needs and the technology is actually maturing, and these are becoming very high level but consumerized things. Now, partners need to evolve also. So my question to you, how do you see or where do you advise the partners to invest in skill development, which is a primary part in order to adopt these technologies? These are not easy ones.
These are not easy, and therefore I will go back to your question one, right? Is how do you see the Indian partner landscape changing, right? Uh, Everyone is, like I mentioned, in a journey of evolution, right? And let me take an example right from here, and is if you really look at our distributors, right? All of us thought, oh, distributors, logistics, fast movement, but look at how our distributors are changing the model that they're driving, right? All of them are cloud service providers as well, or cloud aggregators. Redington, right? Redington is providing multiple cloud services. Who would have imagined 10 years back, when we looked at a distributor, thought of a distributor, what would a distributor be doing, right? Is everyone is changing the way that they're delivering services to the present need. They're remodeling their own organization to say, what is it that's got me here? What will it take to get me there, right? So let's look at the distributor landscape that's changing, and each of the distributors in India is building a unique set of capabilities, and they're looking at how can they help partners, whether it is the smaller IT services companies or the mid-tier or the larger, in terms of how they can deliver some of the services which are more required, but maybe a smaller IT service company may not have the scale to take it on. So the distributors are changing. The legacy service providers, whether it is small, and have gone beyond saying I will only resell, right? They've all built capabilities. So it is no longer people and fixes. It is now saying, how can I build managed services? Now, from a managed services side comes in is how much of it has become commodity and how much of it is niche services that I can build on top of it. So everyone is on a different scale of services capability that they deliver to the client, right? Some of them do plain vanilla, some of them will do the next level, and some of them will obviously look at data as a service, or they will even give business processes as a service, depending on the scale and size of the IT service industry. The change that I'm seeing is a lot of the IT services companies or partners that we've engaged for over the last 20 odd years have built their own teams quite well in advance actually on data. They realize the need to have data skills, and I can name a few, but quite a few who are on or maybe in the audience have actually segregated over a time period a set of teams saying, look, we need to go to the cloud. So they started building cloud capability. Some of them started saying, look, I know data is going to be the next oil, and they thought of it well in advance, and therefore they've built the data. And these are the brick and mortar type of companies that we will call, where I'm not to disclose my age, but the ones that we started with, right? They've also shifted over the last 2 decades. And then there are born on the cloud companies, right? The guys who did not start with selling PCs, servers, or doing system integration, and those are the companies that are building solutions, right? That are required, and they're building solutions that are on the cloud. Now that's a set of IT services companies who are starting from a different place, right? So they started building they built a completely SaaS model of their software. Now they're realizing, look, enterprises need hybrid model, and some of them are actually looking at saying, okay, I've built a SaaS model, but I know in certain segments the client will be comfortable if I have an on-prem and a SaaS model available as well, and therefore they're doing a reverse journey as well. Okay, they're also infusing it with AI at every point of time. If you look at the development that's happening, and IBM actually did a call for code. We have a call for code going on, and this is slated for 5 years, right? Is you're calling not just the developers and saying, look, come and develop or coding. It's not a simple coding exercise, right? We're calling coders of every organization, IT industry or elsewhere. It doesn't have to be only IT industry, because now the clients have more IT people than maybe the IT services companies, is calling them to code and build solutions that will help the human society. And that is tech for good, right? And out of those solutions, the winners, we're also looking at saying, how can we make it a go-to-market model for those specific companies that have built a solution on the IBM cloud by calling for coders. So it's everyone is in a different landscape, and everyone is in a different journey. But I can tell you the amalgamation of that's happening, and I see that. We have a program called Partner Connect. I see a data analytics partner partnering with a security partner saying, look, I'm here, this client needs my I'm positioning a solution here, but I feel the need is there for security. Would you mind coming in and joining me? And these are collaborations that are being built, knowing that customers need niche capability. For me to spread my wings to others will take me too long. Why not call another niche partner and collaborate to do that business? So that's the way that I would call it, a more collaborative approach that's happening.
Correct.
So the skill has to be deep dive. Skill has to be deep
Exactly.
dive. Whichever the technology you take is the whole summary of what I said in the last few minutes.
Okay. Okay. You touched upon on all the tenets that partners should have. They should develop, including skill and their practices. They should develop practices within their organization. But one thing you didn't touch upon, which is very critical to the partner community, is the profitability. What is your idea? What is your model that you are giving to the partners from the revenue point of view?
Revenue, top line and bottom line. We are talking about top line and bottom line, right? And like I said, everyone here is a partner or an IT services company is the better way to. So everyone is interested in what gets me my bottom line, right? Obviously, everyone wants a top line. Everyone wants to achieve the top line. But at the key is, how do I achieve top line without risking my bottom line, right? And that's where if you really look at the models that I talked about, which are services driven modeling, right? What you're giving to the client is no longer saying I am taking a product and I am reselling it. And that's when you looked at a traditional way of saying, what is my margin on that product, right? And that was, is my margin 8%, is my margin 10%, or is my margin 12%, right? Those were the discussions that we used to have earlier, and that's what we used to look at is, okay, which OEM is giving how much margin? But the way that is shifting is, I would really look at it is, what are the services we're building out of an OEM product that can give me a delta increase in my services and my TCV, as well as launch a new business for me, right? So if I'm doing managed services around right now, maybe only managing the network, managing the servers, can I bring in security from IBM, okay, and offer a managed security services? Therefore, my existing customers, I have an additional service scope that I can give, saying, look, while I've been doing this, I can maybe offer you another service when your contract renews, and this is the additional service I'm giving. The delta cost will increase. Okay, obviously it will increase, but the key is what services are being built out of the product is very critical, because for every dollar of an OEM business, if you're able to do at a minimum 2x, at a maximum, depending on which solution it is, right? If you're going to be taking a data AI solution, it can be up to 4x to 5x, right? Because the depth of knowledge of the client environment, the delivery, everything has to be more. Is the model that we have to look at, is what is the services business you can churn out of a solution is the way to look at your bottom line. Because for every dollar that you spend on an OEM, what is the services you can make out of that would be the way to look at bottom line. And therefore, IBM has recently launched a few of the ways that we are looking at partner agreements and partner programs. It's embed, right? It's services. So while we have regular resell partners, we're also looking at partners who can embed IBM solutions, whether it is the IBM cloud solutions, or it is, and I can divide it into the software portfolio, the cloud and cognitive portfolio, whether it is a Cloud Pak for app, Cloud Pak for integration, Cloud Pak for data and AI. How do you really embed IBM portfolio into your solution and bundle it as a service to the end client is the key to it, because that service can be 2x or 3x the IBM component, right? The second part is, how are we able to, the second program is only for services partners, right? And all of we have a lot of data center service providers. IBM has a product, we acquired a year back or so, a few years back, Sanovi as a company, right? How do you really take, with the present business resiliency need, how do you take Sanovi as a solution and build it as a service to your end client? So you're giving them business continuity as a service. You're giving them security as a service, and the security as a service at the beginning can be only just the SIM side, but then you're looking at cyber resiliency as well. So I would put profitability. The way to look at profitability is look at how much of services can I churn out of an OEM product as the core of building profitability for your business, as well as obviously taking you from a roadmap of I am here to I am there as you grow over the next few years.
I think good enough, Lata. I think you spoke in length and breadth, and I'm really fortunate to be on camera to ask you so many questions. Probably we'll have a better time on the interest of the time. I thank you for joining here and speaking to me. Maybe some other time we'll have a longer conversation on more topics. Thank you, Lata, for joining us.
Hey, thank you, Sanjay, for having me here. I hope in the near future we can meet.
Thank you, Sanjay, and thank you, Lata ma'am, for this very insightful chat.